Hello, this is Scott Shepherd, and this is good news. But listen, what does sand have to do with good news? I mean, have you ever gotten a piece of sand in your shoe or maybe your sandals? And boy, I tell you what, it just irritates the dog out of your foot. Or maybe got some sand in your eye or in your mouth or wherever. It doesn't take much sand to really mess things up, to really get our attention, does it? You know what the beauty thing is about sand? Well, I've seen many sandstorms out here in West Texas. We'll see just this brown cloud coming, and you can just see it rolling towards you. And boy, you start shutting windows and taping things down, and putting your umbrellas in the yard down on the ground because this thing's fixing to hit. And sometimes it hits so hard that you can hardly see across the street. There's that much sand in the air blowing across. So what's the good news of sand? Well, here's the good news. When it quits. When all the wind stops and all the sand dies down and it's clear skies again, you can hear the birds chirping again, and it just makes you really appreciate the sand not blowing. It reminds me of a story about a woman whose in-laws had to move in with her and her husband, and they lived in a very small house in a very small village. And so it just began to drive her crazy. She loved her in-laws, but they were just kind of stepping on each other. So she goes to talk to the wise man of the village, and after hearing her story, he said, "Do you have any dogs?" And she said, "Yeah, we got 3 of them." He said, "Well, bring them in to live with y'all." So she brought the dogs in, came back the next week and said, "Oh, man, that's horrible. The dogs are all under our feet." And he listened. He said, "Do you have cows?" "Well, yeah." "Well, bring the cows in to live with you." And before you knew it, they had cows and goats and chickens and dogs and pigs and all of this in the house. She finally came back to the wise man and said, "This is driving me crazy." And he said, "Take all the animals out." And when she came back the next week, she said, "This is wonderful. All there is in our house is my husband and I and my in-laws. Oh, it's wonderful." You see, sometimes the beauty is when the trial times stop, when the sandstorms stop, when you move the animals out of your house and it stops. That's how it is in our lives. Sometimes we'll be going through some really difficult times. God's right there with us. And when it's over, what a beautiful time. Hey, there's good news in a sandstorm. Hey, listen help me out if you will. We're trying to get this site up and going. And if you'd hit your like button or share or follow or subscribe, whatever there is, it'd sure help me out. Help me get this word out about this new site. Listen, I'm Scott Shepherd, and this is Good News.